Welcome to episode 3 of the Retroad Show, the show where I visit the world's best retro gaming shops and collections, all made possible thanks to our patrons. In this episode, I am visiting the UK's biggest game shop, located up north in the middle of Scotland. This was a 800-mile round trip which required a flight and hiring a rental car, but once inside though, the trip was immediately worth it. It's a warehouse filled with an insane amount of games, toys, cards, and arcades. We get the VIP tour by Forgotten World's owner, so grab a cup of tea and put your feet up because this is one hell of an episode.
My name's Alan McCluskey. I am the owner of this shop, Forgotten Worlds. We've had it for coming up in 4 years in October. Initially the store started off just as a storage unit. I was selling a lot of stuff online and needed somewhere to store it all. Found the units up here and thought, yeah, maybe make it a go and see what happens. Wasn't a great plan or anything like that, I just kind of fell into it during COVID. So we've got in the kind of middle section here, it's mostly imported gaming, so I'd say that makes us pretty unique. We also try and specialise just in pretty much whatever we think's cool in here as well. We try and have all the enthusiasm for it and hopefully it comes across. Got lots of handheld stuff in here as well, so we've got the crystal screen gaming watches. We've got 2 of the 3 that are available. They're very expensive as you can see, but pretty hard to get a hold of. Really weird that you can see your fingers through them. But so this is the Pokemon Center Japan exclusive version. Lizardon, which is the Japanese name for Charizard, obviously. I think they only made about 1,000 of these. Really cool machine. Yeah, but again, because it's very limited, this is the only one that I've ever had actually. We've got the Metroid 3DS. Loads of handhelds, just like box, Japanese and kind of PAL region ones there as well. Got a chainsaw controller, a few gaming watches that you spotted earlier on. We've got the Coca-Cola Dreamcast there. That was a competition prize in Japan. They only made 50 of those.
I like that.
So it's very hard to get. We've got the Lego Commodore 64 down there as well, which I believe is the only one in the UK. It's pretty cool. The middle bit here is mainly all imported stuff, so mainly all Japanese, but we've got some really nice American. We've got the likes of Final Fantasy 3 for the SNES, Secret Evermore. There's actually another box underneath there as well, full of nice stuff as well. Nice Metroid as well, so some really nice stuff in there. Fun enough, the Donkey Kong always messes me up because it's not black on the top like the rest of them. But yeah, and there's more American stuff around there as well. But American stuff generally costs quite a lot, it's harder to get than Japanese. So here, Japanese Super Famicom stuff. I need to sort this out because we've ended up with an extra box on top. But yeah, some pretty nice stuff in here. Like, that's really uncommon. That's the easy type version of Final Fantasy, which is pretty rare. The standard ones are about £30–35, but that one's a lot more. There's one that everyone wants, that's the Japanese version of Earthbound. Yeah, we've got, again, this shows what this shop's like as well. We've got a £630 game just in the box there for you to have a look at. But that's pretty nice. Some nice Final Fight Guy. We've got Final Fight Tough in here as well, which is another £450.
Beautiful artwork.
Yeah, it's nice. I did a wee hang on that once. Like, the Japanese artwork's just so much better than what we get in general. We always laugh at this one because this one, they've basically taken the cover from Raw Deal. Nice. And put that on it as Schwarzenegger sort of thing. So yeah, so we've got lots of that. Underneath we've got lots of loose carts for the Famicom, Super Famicom as well. There's a nice Metroid, Contra on top as well. Metroid's a cool one because it's got a full English option in the menu. And here we've got like Virtual Boy, of all things. Virtual Boy. Yeah, we've got one of the really... No, you don't. Well, yeah. So So that was for the console before the Master System in Japan. So it would work on the Sega SC 3000, then the SG 1000, and then the Mark III, and they were the kind of wee cards for the earlier consoles. That's Street Fighter 2 and the Virtual Boy, which was only made, I think, about 250 of. It's pretty cool. You can actually link the console up and play two-player versus on it as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that, and then we've got Sega Mark III games down here, which is the Japanese Master System games. Really cool gold boxes you get as well, so if you want me to lift anything up, I can. That's random, that's Sega Pico games for the kind of educational stuff. The Japanese stuff, I've still got quite a lot of contacts in Japan from when I was collecting, so I buy quite big collections at a time from over there, whether it's consoles or games. When I was collecting, I was a wee bit of a snob. I didn't like the loose carts or loose consoles, so I always liked boxed and complete. So I do try that. Obviously, there's some people want loose carts and stuff like that as well, so we do get them in as well. As for UK stuff, we're lucky people come in and sell us a lot of nice stuff. So there's no great plan behind that. People just come in and sell us the nice UK stuff. The Japanese stuff, I'll go hunting for it though. So some of the stuff we do is quite different. We've got Game & Watches, tabletops, we do comics, graded comics. My kind of whole way of doing it is to try and find stuff that's maybe a wee bit different from other people. We do the main stuff like PS1 and 2 and all that as well, but we always try and get in stuff that's quite unique. Some Japanese consoles maybe you've not seen before, weird box variations, just random things. Just stuff like that, just to try and set us apart. PC Engine stuff, so these are all the Hue card games, although somebody's put a CD game in there as well, so got lots of nice stuff in there. PC Engine's one of my favourite machines actually. So we've got more American games kind of dotted about here, so this is, these are all PlayStation 1 games, so you've got stuff like Final Fantasy Anthology, which is nice. There's some nice ones in here. Terrible artwork, but that's recoding, which is always one people want. You've got a lot of RPGs like Alundra, and then this one, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The artwork on it's terrible compared to even the UK one, but yeah, still a good game to have, obviously. That's some of the bigger box ones that came out at first on the PS1, so they brought out long boxes at first. Got American GameCube games there as well. There's some nice ones in there like Baten Kaitos, but again we don't have a massive selection of American. And that is PlayStation 2 sealed American games as well. So there's a few nice ones in there. We've got like Mega Man, Suikoden 3 and 4 American as well, so they're quite hard to get a hold of.
And you're more than happy for customers to just pull these out and have
Yeah, that's what we encourage because we don't really have a better way of displaying them, unfortunately. So yeah, I like the whole experience of people getting to just look through things on their own. We've got some Japanese Game Boy games, so there's like Castlevania, got a brand new Ghostbusters. We've got crazy things like Hammer and Harry, which is £650, which is it's incredibly rare. We've also got there's a couple of the really rare, DuckTales goes crazy. DuckTales is really rare as well, And there's a couple of the Bubble Bobble games in here that go for stupid money as well. Yeah. And there's Kid Dracula as well. So these two are really rare as well. Bubble Bobble Jr., which is the only copy I've ever seen, and Kid Dracula, which is a nice one as well. So we've got a few nice bits in.
I love that, just a casual £500 Bubble Bobble game.
Yeah, I don't really know how to do any different, unfortunately.
Is there a price limit to which ones you box up in protective sleeves? Or you just
No, not really, no. A lot of the times when we buy inexpensive ones, they come in protective sleeves. I actually try to find a good supplier for them because there's a lot of stuff that I would like to. I mean, £100 game should probably be in a box protector. Some Game Boy Advance games there as well, but not quite as good a selection as I would like, but nice ones like Metal Slug's stupidly expensive as well, but it's a really good version of it. It's funny, it's my favourite handheld console, just because the SNES was my favourite console, and that, to me, I got a sequels to a lot of good games on that I liked. Yeah, so Japanese Dreamcast, I'm quite low on, it seems to be a bit of a mess. Yeah, same with the Saturn section here. It shouldn't be in there. I should probably have tidied up before you started. So Japanese Sega Saturn, we've got some really nice stuff in for us just now. We've got quite a lot of the high-end shooters. We've even got terrible things like the animated movie kind of game. Some nice shoot 'em up, Sonic Wings. So Sonic Wings is a nice shoot 'em up. You've got obviously your classics, Guardian Heroes, which is amazing. Yep. So lots of random stuff. There's a Knights box set with a 3D controller in it as well. So nice shoot 'em ups. Like there's a Salamander Deluxe pack. Should have Battle Garega and stuff like that in here as well. So yeah, always worth a good look. So we've got loads of Japanese PlayStation stuff just now. Got the wee pocket station, which is quite cool. Somebody's taken it out of the bag and put it in upside down. There's a brand new Final Fantasy 9 there as well. Yeah, we've got lots. There's a game, Harmful Part, that was in the cabinet down there that's really rare. PlayStation 1's always a really good seller for us. Again, down underneath we've got random stuff like there's Neo Geo Pocket. That's American Sega Genesis games. Neo Geo Pocket, Wonder Swan games. You've got amazing shoot 'em ups. You've got, I mean, that's another classic as well. There's Galuda. You got all your fighting games as well. That's the Neo Geo collection. Even that, I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's really unusual. Then obviously all your Biohazard. It's just a phenomenal machine, the PS2. Started off like anything else through necessity. I had to sell my own games collection at the time to make ends meet, and then kind of realised that maybe this was something that could work. And now I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I absolutely love it just now. I don't really collect much myself anymore, but when I'm doing this I still feel as though I am, because I'm buying in stuff all the time and seeing really cool things. So it is ultimately to make a living, but I'm not just saying this, but see when people come in and you see their reaction to the shop and all the wows and this is great, and just people being so happy and young kids coming in, that's a really good way to get enjoyment out of life as well. The main pro of the shop would be just meeting people that have got a similar interest, to be honest with you, and the amount of stuff that I've learned in here, even about things that I didn't think I was interested in, like Pokemon and all that, just people come in and they'll chat away to you. We all like really similar things. So yeah, that's amazing. Also the fact that I get to buy in really, really cool stuff and ultimately make some money out of it as well. I've got my own kind of man cave that I get to come to at night when I'm fed up sometimes as well. My kids love coming into the shop. So there's a lot of things going for it. There is obviously some cons as well, like running your own business is pretty stressful. You never get to switch off from it at all, really. It's a nice problem to have, but people are always messaging me, and it's really, really difficult to always get back to everyone. But yeah, I'm always kind of thinking about the place because it's my own business, but I'm always wanting to make it better as well. So I don't know if you take that as a con, but it's quite time consuming. So this side's predominantly UK side now. So loads of Mega Drive games here. We've got some nice ones like Castlevania and Alien Soldier, which unfortunately doesn't have the instructions, but still pretty cool. Nice games. We've got Dynamite Heady, which isn't super expensive. We get, like anything, you get kind of weird ones in, like that's the Aussie Soft exclusive version, so it's the Australian version. Different box variations. That's region free, so that's why it's in with the UK stuff, even though it's an American game. So yeah, we've got, and these boxes there are 2 layers to them as well, so they just keep on going. Probably lesser titles down there. We do have a lot more to sort out as well. We've got some nice Mega CD stuff in just now. Some of these go for quite good money. Bought in a collection in really nice condition quite recently actually. So we've got Sonic CD and Dune, which quite a good game as well. And then you get absolute dross like Night Trap. Then there's some 3D, the obvious thing right in front of it, the Mario Cement Factory, which is really cool. One of the tabletop Game & Watches. And I like this as well, the Coleco used to do some of these. Pretty nice wee game of Miss Pac-Man on that. There's some 3DO stuff in the box behind it, and some of the bigger box 3DO. Yeah. An interesting idea.
Not a fan.
It's funny how everyone back then thought they could do a console, wasn't it? But see some of the games, like the names on them, like Pandemonium and all that, they were good licenses they had. We've got loads of Master System games, including like a Brazilian exclusive version of Street Fighter 2. It's funny, we had in the Brazilian version of FIFA on the Master System a while ago as well, which is one of the only FIFAs that's worth money. There's lots of nice bits in there. There's a lot of kind of common stuff as well, and really need to get another box sorted out for it as well. Loads of Dreamcast games in just now. A few kind of nice rarer bits like Resident Evil 3 and stuff.
I'll show the camera that. Show them what you did. Yes.
Well done. So there's some decent ones in there as well. For some reason the Frank Thomas Big Hot Baseball always goes for good money on every format. I've no idea why.
Oh, I never knew that.
And there's KO Flying Squadron 2, which is a nice one to have as well. So yeah, we've got some decent stuff in there. Yeah. Before it was online, yeah. Kind of tucked in there, we've got Neo Geo CD games as well. So these are English language ones, so they go for a lot more money, even though it's just a different box, which is kind of crazy. Some Game Gear stuff as well. So got loads of loose carts, but that's the box ones we've got. We do have Japanese box ones as well. Loads of PlayStation 1 games. There's some nice bits. Italian Job was a good wee game actually. We've got Castlevania in the glass cabinet, you've probably seen earlier on as well. That was one of my favourites as well, Return Fire, that was a great game, really nice. I think I was saying to you earlier on, this is the last console I would call retro, but
Nice.
yeah. We get random bits like this in as well, like it's a floppy disk game for an old PC, but done in a SNES box with
Loose Game Gear.
Yeah, loose Game Gear, we've got quite a lot in there. Not really get anything super expensive or anything for it, unfortunately, but lots of classics. Obviously, loose Super Nintendo games. Some nice ones in there that are not too expensive compared to the box ones. Some Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. Cool Spot was a great game. Clay Fighter wanted to be a good game, but didn't. Then let's not talk about Primal Rage. Absolute trash. Some nice N64 stuff in there. Yeah, one of the best games of all time. One of the best of all time. Do you know, it's one of those ones, there's not that many games on the system, so there is people going for full sets. And I think for a lot of people it was maybe...
A few hundred?
I think you're less than 300, I'm sure it's about 270 or something, maybe, from memory. There's
Feels like more, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's 3 Australian exclusives that are really hard to get that go for crazy money. Yeah, so we've got... That's an N64. So we've got box Super Nintendo stuff here, like there's a really nice Zelda there as well. We've got some quite nice ones in just now. Even Ultimate Mortal Kombat goes for crazy money now. And Secret of Mana. One of my favourites, Zombies Ate My Neighbours, which is brilliant. NBA Jam. So yeah, some real good ones in here just now. And again, like the other ones, there's another layer underneath for that as well.
Just a casual
box
full of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, it's quite unusual to get Donkey Kong with the actual CD in it as well. We've got a box of soundtrack CDs up here as well. Some of them are Japanese, but it's obviously just music. Box Nintendo 64, you've got these ones again, you kind of pay a premium to get them in nice condition. I've got the big box. Pokemon Stadium as well. Just things like, it's not the greatest condition, but really hard to get the Mystical Ninja games. Randomly we've got quite a lot of Coleco and Intellivision games in just now. This is NES, so that one's a funny one, they only made 50 of that. It's some really limited modern release. It's a cart of the original Zelda. Really, really bad condition, unfortunately, no instructions, but that's the second Zelda game. Yeah, we've got some nice stuff in just now, like that's a beautiful copy of Parodius. Like Turtles, even Punch Out as well was a brilliant game, it was amazing, so some nice stuff in for that. Some Coleco stuff up there, including this one is £600. Stupidly rare, done towards the end, well after the console was finished by Telegames, so there's not many of them around. Yeah, so some stuff in there. This box is a bit of a mix, it's Game Boy, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance stuff. So yeah, there's nice titles, Final Fantasy, there's Sonic Battles, really hard to get a hold of now. There should be a couple of Castlevanias in there as well, I would imagine. You know yourself, getting nice cardboard games is it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one that came out quite recently actually on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, we know.
Yeah. Nice games they make actually, so yeah. A good Zelda there as well, I think. Yeah, so.
Good condition as well.
Yeah, it's been looked after. This one, randomly, is an almost complete set of Jaguar CD games. It was a complete set at one point when I bought it in, but sold a few since then. But yeah, some of the games in here are just like Space Ace, which is not too expensive, thankfully. But Brain Dead 13, that goes for £350. It's kind of crazy. We've got a few normal cartridges in there as well. But yeah, it's interesting. We've got a box of Intellivision games down there as well, including the speech add-on and some. Yeah, so they're basically UMD movies and just really not very good PSP games. We've got some nice DS stuff in. There's some Castlevanias. We do get. There's another Castlevania as well, the Portrait of Ruin. We sometimes get in nice, obviously the DS is region free, but that's Shin Megami Tensei, that's brand new as well, but as an American exclusive for that, so yeah, lots of nice stuff in for that. PlayStation Vita.
People love the Vita nowadays as well.
Yeah, I mean I love these, I used to love the Neo Geo, but that's a Vita game from Limited Run, but they put it in the big Neo Geo style box.
Cool.
We've got some Japanese limited editions in here. It's obviously a region free console. We do have lots of Japanese Vita games over there as well. So this is PSP. There's a mix of Japanese and UK games in here just because it is a region free console. So there's really nice stuff in here like Castlevania. Somebody's put these in upside down. We've got some of the PC Engine collections as well. So yeah. That should be up there. That's actually a DS game. Always like the art on that. It's basically the follow-up to Parasite Eve, the third birthday, so it's nice. We've got Metal Gear Acid. Some nice games in there. We've got a lot of stuff in the shop that isn't gaming as well. We've got loads of cool action figures. We've got Funko Pops, lots of collectible stuff like anime figures and stuff like that. And the reasoning behind that is that not every single person wants to come to a game shop. Me personally, the games are the things that I like the most in the shop, but there's a lot of crossover with superhero stuff in gaming, anime stuff in gaming, so we try and have a bit of something for everyone in the shop. So we get a lot of people now coming in just to buy action figures because you kind of get a lot of stuff like that easily anymore. You'll find people come up to the checkout and they've got a couple of games, they've got a superhero figure, they've got a Funko Pop. The basic rough rule of thumb, if we think it's cool, we'll try and sell it. So yeah, it's amazing when you go to a Comic Con as well, the kind of crossovers between gaming and all the kind of other pop culture stuff. It'd be silly to just kind of cut yourself off from one, I think. So we try and do a bit of everything as well as we can. And that's why there's lots of other cool stuff in the shop as well. One of the things people comment on quite a lot is that we've got pretty expensive games just sitting on the shop floor for people to kind of look through. And my reasoning behind that, first of all, I don't have enough storage space to store all the expensive games safely, but I like it when I go into a shop if I get to actually pick something up, hold it, if I want to open it up and see if there's instructions in it and all that. So we try and give people that option here. So even the stuff we've got in cabinets, if somebody wants to ask, they're more than welcome to have a look through it. But you know that experience you get when you go to a shop and everything's behind a kind of cabinet and you maybe not even got a price on it and you don't know whether you're allowed to ask to look at it. We don't want that in here, so people can come in, we get it all the time. You can open up the games, have a look, make sure they're up to the standard you like. Obviously we hope you put them back in the same way you got them, would be nice, but in general we just want people to feel. One of the things I always get laughed at, everyone comes in, I just say, make yourself at home and let me know if I can help you. And we actually do mean that. You know, you come in, just kid on, it's your own stuff, look through it as you like. And yeah, if we can help you, we will, but just have a good rummage about and see what you find. So that's why we've got all the stuff just sitting there for you to look through. And it does make it a bit easier. Like of these boxes here, I can just put a lid on them and take them to a show as well. So there's a wee bit of laziness in there as well, maybe, but in general, it's good for people to have a look at the stuff they want to see. This is a really expensive one. It's Tatsujin O for the FM Towns Marty, and it's a beautiful shoot 'em up, but it's £1,100. It's kind of the holy grail for that console, and Tatsujin's always really popular, and this is the only time this ever came out on any home console, so it goes for a fortune for that reason. We also have. So this one is the rarest game on the Sega Mark III, which is a Japanese Master System. They only made, well, no more than 100 copies of it. It didn't come in a standard box. It was just this is the only way it came, through Beat magazine. Yeah, so, bit of a holy grail if you collect that.
Yeah.
Seems crazy you just have to pay that much money for a hockey game, but around the other side we've got some nice Game & Watches and things like that. So, and the DuckTales cartridge is really interesting as well. So I'll just spin this. In fact, I'll be better off. So this one, well, 150 they made. It's limited to 150 copies. This is number 30, and it's a promotional thing Capcom did when DuckTales came out on 360 Live Arcade. But it's a fully working NES cartridge. I just like the instructions on the back. Do not store in extreme temperatures, do not immerse in water, and life is like a hurricane. That just appeals to my sense of humour for that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And I've got some nice Game & Watches in here as well. Sometimes you get them, they're a wee bit marked up on the outside, but yeah, it's just class. Mickey and Donald.
Oh, I like the colours on that.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice. I bought one in for myself. There's one called Manhole that I had when I was a wee boy, and I got one from Japan, but before it came, I bought one off somebody else, so I've now got one over there. But it's one of those ones that I thought when I went back and played it, I wouldn't enjoy it. But I've played it for hours and hours. It's just so simple and so good. Mainly Japanese consoles here. Well, maybe need to show you that. The Biohazard briefcase box set. I don't know if you've seen that.
That is cool. Yeah, nice.
Batman's too hard. Why are you doing that?
Batman's too hard.
That's that boy.
Yeah. That's meant to be empty because it's for the next games that come out, sort of thing. So yeah, so you get that. You get Code
Very good
Veronica. You've
condition,
got
aren't
another DVD about it, and there's loads of. In here you've got it's like the T-Virus in there. You've got dog tags. You've got a ring in there as well. It's a nice box set.
Yeah. So what game is that for again?
So it's the Biohazard 5th anniversary, so this was 5 years after. PlayStation 1 and Code Veronica on the PlayStation 2, so you get Biohazard 1, 2 and Code Veronica in it as well. So
Very
nice.
cool.
Something different.
Yeah.
So FM Towns Marty 2, that's what that expensive game in the cabinet's for. Fujitsu made it in Japan. We've got some Famicoms there. Casio Lupe, a console they said was designed for girls, which is very patronising. They made a whole 11 games for it as well. So
the front, is it prints?
it prints, it's got a printer for printing out labels. This one comes with a printer and it comes with the label roll to print on as well. It was an interesting idea, but every game seemed to be about dressing characters up in outfits. So, I mean, girls like to just play good games. They don't like to play nonsense like that. I've got an American Nintendo 64, the Super Graphics, which was the kind of supposed follow-up to the PC Engine, but they only made 5 games for it. We've got an MSX. We've got the PC Engine with the CD-ROM system. That's my favourite PC Engine setup. It just looks beautiful in the briefcase. That's the multi-tap. PC Engine only came with one joypad port on it, so you had to buy a multi-tap to plug in to play multiplayer games. This is really hard to get, the Gundam RX-78 computer, hence why it's so expensive. We've got the Bandai Arcadia, which was kind of like Atari 2600 kind of era. Quite nice. There's some Neo Geo games in there and some stuff for FM Towns, PC-98, kind of weirder Japanese computer stuff down there. Some of which are not great in content, but there's a very expensive Tetrex for the Fujitsu FMR 50LT, whatever that is, computer. So, what else we got? Bandai Playdia. Terrible console, really bad. So I've got a whole 4 games for it. That's Sailor Moon. The games were all dodgy, kind of like animated, interactive. The redeeming feature for the console, as I said to you, it's got the first wireless controller that came bundled in with it. We have the Pioneer Laser Active. You could put modules in that to play Mega Drive and PC Engine and karaoke. The Pioneer MSX, which is an absolutely stunning machine. It's really, really beautiful. Looks like a bit of home cinema equipment. This is just a big twin stick setup for the Xbox 360 for Virtual On, but you could use it for the Gun Griffin games and stuff like that as well. Just some limited box sets. We've got wireless joypads for the multi-tap for the PC Engine. Got some American stuff, like American GameCube. This is an American PS2, but it's brand new and sealed. There's 2 of them. I got them at a shipping box of 3. That's for the Wonder Swan, yeah. A brand new American Xbox and a brand new American Wii. Although the Xbox is a bit faded, but it's all still sealed. And a Japanese 360 if you like your shoot 'em ups. Yeah, so here there's not. You've got the Steel Battalion box set. There's a lot of big limited editions. We've got a nosy 17-year-old coming in to try and gate crash. Yeah, just some loose kind of arcade sticks and stuff here as well.
Again, what?
Oh, that's a shame. We've got a Neo Geo CD console up there as well. Another couple of American GameCubes, and there's an American Wii U randomly as well. This is quite cool.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, we've got. I don't think we missed this row out earlier on. So that's the Hello Kitty Dreamcast. That looks like a Dreamcast console, but it's actually the karaoke unit. The Dreamcast sits on top of it. It's got the microphones. It doesn't really work anymore because the online service isn't there, but people like it because it's got Sonic on the box. We've got the cheaper versions of the Amigo, the Maracas. We've got a 32X. This is quite cool. So you're looking at the games earlier on, the Sega My Card game. So this is the console they brought out before the Master System in Japan. It had a full keyboard on it, but it was basically just a prequel to the Master System. This one, it's an Othello Multivision. Believe it or not, Sega actually officially licensed their Master System technology to another company in Japan. So they made a clone machine that was official, and even brought out their own games that work on. They got the license to James Bond and stuff like that. So it's an interesting bit of Sega's history. We've got things like the Lethal Enforcers, kind of packed with the guns. This is cool. It's not a great machine, but so people don't really know. This is the console that Nintendo copied for the Wii. This was out in Japan and it was all motion control. It's called the Zavix port, and you've got like baseball, there was boxing, they came with the controller add-ons, and Nintendo basically seen it and copied everything for the Wii. But if you're Nintendo's lawyers, you didn't hear that from me, just in case. But yeah, the Wii was a bit of a rip-off of that. We've got some very limited edition Sega Saturns here. Yeah, so that's, in Japan you could join the Dreamcast Dream Point Club. It was like their version of Club Nintendo. And you could send away, so you got all these really cool, I think I've got a leopard print one loose over there as well, but that's the only box one. Just a marble effect controller. Japanese Mega Drive's a beautiful box. This is the Japanese Master System. It was called. They did bring out a Master System in Japan, but this is the console that played the games. We've got an unboxed Neo Geo there as well. Some Famicoms. They're quite cool. They've been modified with AV, and they take a USB power instead of trying to get a Japanese power supply. Yeah, so cool stuff there. Nintendo stuff. This is cool for the GameCube. So it's just a box set with all the games, but it's really, really rare. And it comes with a Wesker's Report DVD as well, so that's cool. Japanese Cube, Wii U. This is a Sharp Twin Famicom, which is a Famicom with the floppy disk drive add-on built into the same machine. So it's quite cool. Don't know if it's got a picture on the back of. That's kind of what the console looks like there. So you've got the floppy disk drive and the Famicom. Sharp did quite a lot of collaborations with Nintendo in Japan. Yeah, Super Famicom. Well, yeah, we'll get that bit when we go around. But there's just random stuff in here as well.
I know this isn't retro, but I know One Piece is coming in, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's an absolutely stunning looking console. It really is. Got funny controllers as well, the Negcon and the Jogcon.
Never seen that blue PlayStation 2 here.
Yeah, again, we didn't get that colour here, but it's really quite striking. As is that monstrosity. It's just. So I hadn't seen these, so we've got the Famicom and Super Famicom Twin Pack and Pikachu Japanese N64. They got two colours over there, we just got one here. We've got lots of Sega stuff in here as well, just some Saturns, Mega Drives, Mega CDs. Probably nothing, that's quite rare, the Aladdin variation of the Mega Drive 2. It is just a cardboard sleeve that goes over the original box, which is a bit of a cheat in my opinion. But other than that, we've got some kind of Microsoft stuff in here again, all pretty standard stuff. That's quite a cool big arcade stick. But I think we missed that. There's again, it's definitely not retro, but there's a Final Fantasy Edition PS4. It's pretty cool. Then we've got quite a lot of nice Nintendo stuff. We've got the big deluxe set there. That's really hard to get. Got the brand new Resident Evil 4. Just a couple of nice variations there. The gold controller pack and the Mario World one. Pretty good. I do like that's a lime green. It's a Japanese one, but it's a region-free console and you can change it to English in the settings. So usually I've got quite a few Japanese Vitas in, but right now that's all I've got. It's kind of standard stuff. We've got different switches here, PS2s, some nice big box sets like the Lord of the Rings, God of War. Where did that come from? This is cool as well, actually. I know it's no retro again. It's a PS5 controller, but it's a Japanese exclusive Final Fantasy 16 one, so that's nice. Yeah, do you know, hadn't seen that before. It's just basically a sticker over the box, and it does come with a game though, but it's very uncommon. But yeah, I think they sold that many PlayStations back then. There's about 10 different, just so many different ones. Yeah, and then just some kind of computer stuff. Got a couple of the Pip Boys in just now. So we've got Neo Geo X Gold, we've got a CDI. That's kind of cool actually, it's faded a bit, but that's, again, that comes with every game on it. There's 38 cartridges, it's $1.50 though, but it's a complete library with the console. We've got a weird Philips video pack. And this is just where we put all our kind of loose consoles for the most part. Even got the dodgy copying device for the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. You've got a floppy disk drive, plugs into that. I may or may not have used that back in the day. Yeah, so just loads of loose consoles and stuff. And behind us we've got mainly computers. But the Microvision's quite cool. Again, that's a full set with all 8 games, which is really uncommon. This is the Grandstand Fairchild Channel F. It was the first console that ever came out with interchangeable cartridges. So that's pretty old. It's probably a bit as old as me, which is aged better. We've got some like Scramble and some other stuff down there as well. I do think this is quite amusing with Kevin Keegan on the front of it as well, with dodgy hair. Yeah, so just some...
It's magical looking at it now.
I know, the whole family looks delighted, don't they? It's, I'm old enough to remember when they came out. Some nice home computer stuff as well.
James Bond action packs.
Yeah, so it came with a kind of light blaster or whatever they called it as well. Didn't look anything like the box, but yeah. So Atari ST and Amigas are always popular as well, and just some random plug and play stuff down there. The Evercade Versus Founder Edition as well, which is it's a nice machine. Probably the better selling stuff in the shop because people are younger than me. There's like the PlayStation 2 stuff in particular sells really well for us. We did just buy in a big collection of stuff, so there's some quite nice stuff like Sword of Etheria. There's quite uncommon stuff like Tengai, which goes for a lot of money. We've got some Shin Megami Tensei. These are kind of sealed ones though, so they're a bit more expensive. Randomly, there's even quite an expensive Scooby-Doo game. It's £38 for that, but it's quite hard to get. But yeah, we've got quite a good selection in just now, but again, that's crazy money. That's about £100 unsealed, that. So yeah, so it's a lot of nice stuff in here. This section does get a bit of a ransacking, which is good. People like a wee rummage through it. Yeah. So we've got mainly kind of DVD-based systems. There's a lot of GameCube stuff. Got some nice Switch stuff actually as well. A lot of limited run releases. Yeah, so we've got kind of a lot of big box stuff behind here. Oh, do you know what we got? Look, that's really nice. I like the Panzer Dragoon. That's done in a Sega. So it's done in like a Sega Saturn style. Jim, where did the? Oh, sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah, that's nice. We just got this in the other day as well. So it's the Shantae collection for the Switch, and it's the slipcase alone goes for about £150. All the games are sealed apart from the Pirate's Curse, which goes for £300 on its own. But yeah, they're.
I didn't know these things. I knew this existed, but not.
A guy came in. This was just 2 days ago. We bought the Mega Drive collection I was telling you about earlier on, and they had this as well. And it's crazy how expensive it is, but it's beautiful.
Seeing like it's only a year and a half old.
Yeah. I mean, some of the games are probably brand new, just came out, and then some are maybe 2 years old tops, I think. But Shantae games are always expensive, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and some of the big, like the Castlevania box. That's really beautiful. Yeah, I'm dying to open it because it's got a switch on it, and I think it lights up. But I've never seen it. But I don't want to take it out the seal to do that. I know. And that's nice as well. The Old Republic. So I love limited run with all the stuff they do, but it's quite. And the Zombies and Ghoul Patrol one as well is really nice. So.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
think these existed.
They're usually downloads, you just download the games, but they do physical releases, but they put a ton of extra stuff in them as well. This has got a really nice book and stuff in it as well, so yeah, it's pretty sweet. So we've got an arcade in here as well, just to give people something to do. It's an original Pac-Man from 1980, which is still going strong, touch wood. Probably the most popular game in here, the Aliens Extermination. Just shooting people. Mario Kart, the 2 players, always popular. Afterburner, which thankfully Andrew's just fixed there. And that's an original Outrun as well.
Oh, wow.
It is a deluxe one, it's meant to move side to side, but we can't get the motion to work during the game. But when you switch it on, it'll move, it's really annoying. And the Street Fighter Apache slot machine's pretty cool. That's something we bought in to sell, but it's £1,200. It was about 96, I think it was. These are my favourites in here, so we've got a Blast City and an Astro City, which are really cool. This one's just got a Neo Geo multi-cart in it because the button configuration is the same as a Neo Geo, so I thought it'd be cool to do that. We do have the Star Wars Battle Pod, which unfortunately doesn't like to work when it's warm, so it's not working just now. It's the only one in Scotland as well, but yeah, it's really nice when it works, but it doesn't like being warm. This is awesome though, the Star Trek Next Generation pinball machine. And this is about 30 years old, but it's still fantastic. We just got this in maybe about 3 months ago, and it's been really good fun. Probably maybe do 10 to 12 shows a year. Used to do more, but I don't like taking all the stuff out the shop when the shop's busy at the weekends kind of thing. I always feel bad. So, but the shows again are a big part of the shop's income. They keep us going quite nicely. So, and they're also good for building the name of the shop as well, telling people we're out there. So most of our UK stuff in particular comes from trade-ins. We get people selling us one game to like thousands and thousands of pounds worth of games at a time. So you can do that. We can give you cash, much like CEX. We give you cash, or we can give you more credit to spend in the shop. Also, in terms of repairs, we've got a guy, Andrew, you've kind of seen kind of going about. He does our repairs for us. If it's something in older machines, then yeah, we could probably have a go at getting the repairs done for you. It depends how much time Andrew's got and how much stuff we've hit him with to get fixed as well. A lot of the collections we buy in have got things in them that don't work. Newer consoles get more popular, I think, as people kind of grow up with them. So just now, the likes of Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 are getting more popular, and I think it's just a generation that kind of grew up with them are going back and buying them. For me, nicely, I'm seeing the Japanese games getting more popular in here. The average person walking in here will probably ignore the Japanese games because they don't work on UK machines, but because we're getting quite well known, we get people who travel to come in to get them. So that's doing well, and do you know, everything's going, touch wood, quite nicely just now. Like the action figures are doing really well for us, they've been really growing. We get stuff in like the Marvel Legends and the wrestling figures that you can't get out of Smith's Toys anymore and stuff like that, so smaller kind of independent shops like us are the places to go to for that. So yeah, everything like that's going really well just now and just building up nicely for us.
A big thank you to Alan and his team for having me for the day. It is quite literally one of the best retro game shops in the UK, and it is wholeheartedly worth the visit. Admittedly, it's about 20 minutes outside of Glasgow, so you will need to find your transport, either that's a bus, a taxi, or a rental car, but the sheer amount of selection in terms of video games, collectibles, comics, and toys is just outstanding, and it is truly one of the best game shops in the UK. I did pick up a few things. I didn't go crazy this time, but I did want to share with you what I picked up, like I do at the end of all of these episodes. Game Boy games are obviously my jam, and for those of you that don't know, I'll actually show you now. We are launching a stand. This is the first look at the Dodo display. There will be an acrylic dome that goes on top, and we will be adding additional accessories so that you can display your handhelds as well. But that's a first look. If any of you are interested, there are links below to register your interest. That will be launching on Kickstarter, hopefully at the end of the year, but we are still in development. So I did pick up a few games to go with that. Sonic Advance for the Game Boy Advance, The Hobbit for the Game Boy Advance, Tetris. I lost my copy, I don't know where it went, so I had to pick up another one. I got Gex, Deep Covered Gecko, Spider-Man, and one of my favorite games, Popeye. I also picked up something I haven't seen before. It's basically the music collection from Pokemon Red and Green in Japanese. I do need to get an additional sleeve for it, but I will take it out and show you. It's just pretty much the soundtrack for the games with incredible artwork that I just had to get my hands on, and it comes with some manuals as well. Just look at that stunning artwork, and you've also got the disc 3 and disc 4 there. I will show you this because this is really cool. I did have a little poke before buying it. You can see the disc 2 artwork as well, but also some additional artwork in here. Obviously, I can't read Japanese, but this was something I wanted to add to my collection. You've got a look at the Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green sprites, as well as the original Red and Green sprites as well. So I had to add this to my collection. Big fan of Pokemon, as you all know. And finally, I picked up this. This was a little bit left wing for me because I never used to collect comics, but I just had to get my hands on this quite simply because it's just visually stunning and I wanted it. I think the old school Nintendo comics are just very unique, and I just wanted to add this to my collection. One of my first comics, actually. I'm not really a fan of the whole graded thing, but I guess this will keep it in a minty fresh condition for here on out. So there you have it. In the next episode, I visit York, which has a very impressive store, a lot smaller than the Forgotten World store, but definitely worth a watch when that comes out. So if you do enjoy these episodes, please do subscribe, and if you want to see them kind of keep going, we have a Patreon as well, which gets early access to this kind of stuff. You get an exclusive access to our video podcast as well, and you get a few goodies if you are a premium member. So as per usual, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.